broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 2016.
Woo-hoo.
Another season. No, not another season.
No.
Another half season
Exactly.
of Reign here to discuss on AfterBuzz TV. It's called Our Undoing.
Yeah, there's a lot of undoing tonight.
We did. And I'm being told that January 24th we will have a full panel.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
But tonight, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Alina Vision. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alina Vision.
And the nice part is, for those of you who follow the show, you guys notice that, 1 week she's here, 1 week Keaton's here.
Right.
But they have finally met.
We have
Off-screen, of course.
Off-screen. Finally got to meet her, sweetheart. Cannot wait to be on a panel with her.
I can't wait to
For
be on a panel with
everyone.
both of you.
Exactly. At once.
And guess what? JB Zimmerman is coming back.
Yay!
So January 24th, JB is coming back. So
It's going to be a big day.
it will be a big day. Fingers crossed for this day. Much like the French court, we have a lot of hope. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't always get the hope that we want. But nonetheless, what did you think of tonight's episode? I mean, it was a big cliffhanger, and the tough part is you didn't get to participate in the conversation with Don Carlos last time.
Oh my goodness, I was dying. I couldn't be here, and that episode just totally killed it. And Don Carlos is on the show, and I wish I was here.
Did you listen to the episode?
I did.
What did you think of the interview?
It was good. I mean, I think it's great anytime we have somebody who's actually involved with the show on. And yeah, I liked it. I liked that episode. It was great to come back into this episode, and I'm excited to talk about it.
So if for whatever reason you haven't listened to that episode, the after show, not the actual episode, because hopefully you've already seen that anyway, especially if you're listening and watching to this. But check that out. We had Don Carlos, and he's a great guy. We talked pretty much for about 50 minutes about the show, so it was great. And he had his takes on the various other storylines as well, and he's a fan of the show.
That's great.
So a lot of tidbits in there worth checking out. But let's start with this episode. Let's begin with Lola and kind of work in there.
Okay.
Overall, two main storylines. There's the storyline of Lola, which encompasses Narcisse, and then there's Narcisse, Mary, and the Queen. And not a whole lot in between.
Right.
But a lot in terms of the depth there.
Yeah.
Which, even before we do you miss Queen Elizabeth? I know we're going to get her back.
Right.
But we've kind of been off that side of
for
the
a
pond.
minute, right? Or at least it seems like it.
Yeah, especially since
there's been
we've
a break, right? I think we are going to get her back, but I do like how now we're going like really deep into what's going on kind of at French court. And I think it'd be a little bit out of place right now to like bring her in, kind of have those parallel storylines, because there's a lot going on. Yeah. There's a lot of different storylines that are kind of all intermingling and intertwining. And so I think it's good that that's kind of left separate
on the side.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough. I agree. So, Lola, first off, yes! She is the detective that I hope she would be.
She is.
So, I forget where you stood on Narcisse. Did you think he was redeemable? Because after tonight's episode...
I know, I did. And I was like, Phil was right. I should have listened to Phil.
See?
Phil was right. No, I wanted to have hope because, when he was courting Lola, except for the whole rat thing, it seemed like he was really in love and he could have changed. But that's what I like about kind of the writing of certain characters in, this whole series is like, especially with him and with Catherine, there's like people you love to hate, but then all of a sudden they like get on your good side. And you're like, oh, there's a chance for them. And but yeah, this episode, I mean, he went in hard, he leaned in hard, and all the castle walls just kind of came crumbling down on him.
Well, speaking of that, at least in terms of, and again, we're going to kind of jump all over the board,
right,
just by the nature of things, but Catherine and Narcisse, she says to him at the end that, you know, if she finds out, she's gonna you know, basically kill him off or whatever. But it's not his fault. He didn't do the trials. And so while there's not necessarily hope for Lola and Narcisse, Catherine and Narcisse, that could be a thing.
It could still be a thing. Even Lola said that she saw the look in both of their eyes. You know, there's still something there, even though he tried to, you know, take her to court and probably get her killed off. They're both kind of power hungry. They're both that type of character. I think something is still there between the two of them.
I agree. And so while ladies, please, Narcisse is irreparable.
He's bad news.
But Catherine fully knows this and she's okay with it, so I'm okay with her and Narcisse.
Okay, so you're okay with that one.
Because they, in their own weird way, are honest with each other. You know? And the problem is right now they're in a place where, again, one's questioning the other, which is why she's like, if I find out it was you, and he's actually telling the truth, because we got that whole scene with the cardinal and his neck being
slashed. Yeah,
exactly. So again, if they can just come to a place where they know they're being honest with each other, because they are, then that's a good relationship.
Right. I actually agree with you. I mean, they're so similar in so many ways. They, you know, want the power and are very conniving and all of that. So I think, they think they'd be a good couple.
Yeah. And Lola, in terms of her detective work, I thought it was brilliant in terms of, why would you... First off, if you're Narcisse, why would you ever have anyone write? Like, are they that lazy where they can't write themselves?
I was so thinking the same thing. I'm like, they're just telling people what to write. Wow. I mean, I wish I had somebody to type out all my emails, you know. But
But at the same time, no, because then imagine
so
if it's like like blah blah blah, I hate you, I want to kill you type email.
It's like it's so easy to just write your own stuff, but
especially when it's like, whatever it was, like one rat,
down, two to go. Yeah, like you couldn't write that, Narcisse. Really, you couldn't write that. But in the end, it ended up being his own, you know, the demise of his own doing. And Lola was able to figure out that it wasn't him. I mean, it wasn't Catherine. It was Narcisse's scribe. I guess that's what you call him, the scribe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all taught the same handwriting.
I'm so sure.
That was good.
It was a good line. It was quick.
Yeah,
it was quick.
He was quick to think of that.
But everyone's got a little something different. Yeah.
And you know what? Like, for our male audience, you know what? Don't try to fool a woman. No. I promise you, it just doesn't work.
Like I said
they will get you on the smallest thing.
Exactly. We're like the CIA. We will get to the bottom of everything. Cannot fool us.
I mean, you know, it's the letter. And it was so perfect because obviously it fed both the storyline that we'll talk about in a moment of her parents and kind of that decision. But the fact that that's playing and with the writing of that, obviously it plays into this. And then the fact that in turn now forces her to make a decision to go and basically be a prisoner of war in England. I really don't want to see Lola go because I think
I don't either.
Luckily, we get England and we see England, so at the very least, there's hope in that way.
Right.
But to see Lola and Mary not together, and all because of this guy Narcisse.
Right, exactly.
Tell me, by the end, did he not look pathetic?
He did. He looked pathetic. I was actually surprised that he told, or that kind of in that moment when Lola asked him, like, what happened, that he didn't just come up with another lie. I was really surprised that, like...
What lie could he have come up with?
No, the guy's not coming back, you know? I mean, he's so good at coming up with lies. I thought for sure he'd say something because he wants to keep Lola, and he didn't. And yeah, he just looked pathetic at the end. I mean... He's just tried and done everything, and he even said, like, you know, I can do some pretty low things to get what I want, but yeah.
And you know, I mean, interesting enough in terms of the whole trial aspect, you know, while it wasn't necessarily him that that dug up the liver, he was doing it for Lola because she's the one who pushed him of like, why do you want to be second in command to Catherine?
Right.
You could literally be number one. Why this is weird. And so he tried so hard to make it work. And I think the most telling moment for me was when he was burying the scribe and he said, please let this be like the last thing.
Yeah. Right. It's not the last.
Do you think he goes through do you think he's a victim of circumstance in some weird way?
No. Because he calls it upon himself. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows he's weaving these lies and tales out of school. So no, I mean, he's kind of getting what he deserves. Like, he didn't deserve Lola. I mean, he cheated on her. He lied. He's
still cheating on her.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Exactly. So, and the crazy part is that they're still going to be married, I guess,
So is Mary and Don Carlos.
Right.
So
yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that I don't know, especially like in this day and age, right? People always say, "Oh, the good old times, marriage used to mean something, this and that." In the old times, marriage didn't really seem to mean much of anything except for like an alliance and money.
Right. Exactly. And the guy was kind of able to do whatever he wanted while the women had to remain faithful.
Yeah, but the women seem to be doing okay.
Ish, if you're Catherine.
Yeah.
She's, in that aspect of things, she reminds me, she kind of is like more of a modern woman. Like, the guys are going to have and go do their thing, then I'm going to go do mine. That's kind of how I feel about her in that whole aspect of things.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Lola's decision with the parents. I mean, did she have... For Narcisse aside, did she have other options to get her parents back?
I don't know if she really had that many options because it seemed like they would need, soldiers to go in there of some sort to get the parents back. I don't really see any other way, either that or her giving herself up. And I think kind of that's what Elizabeth wanted. Yeah, I mean,
it's weird to think. Obviously, Liz smart, but to know that this is basically someone who she's basically taking directly one of the ladies of
like pretty much Mary's best friend. I would say one of Mary's best friends, or not? Yeah.
I mean, there's Greer and there's her. Right. There used to be Kenna.
Yeah.
Where's she been?
Still waiting for Kenna. Yeah.
She's not coming back.
I know, she's not coming back, unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I loved Kenna.
Me too, for a different reason.
I'm sure you did.
For a different reason.
Sure you did.
Fans know this if you've been watching for a while. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mary said, like, because there's Narcisse's option of let's send troops.
Right.
Which he wanted to send Scottish troops.
Yeah.
That in its own thing.
Right.
But Mary was like, we won't send troops until all diplomatic things. And I would have liked to see what Mary could have come up with, because she's very smart in that way, and she comes up with something in the the 11th hour.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. I
don't know what it would have been.
Exactly.
But
I don't know what it would have been, because I think it was so kind of strategic on Elizabeth's part. I don't know if she would have negotiated you know what I mean? Negotiated anything else out of that. But
I think there's two things. There's negotiation and there's blackmail. That's the only way things get done around here. And so in order to counteract Elizabeth, there would need to be some blackmail.
Right.
For which at the moment there is none that we have.
Right.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I mean, the good news is it sounds like Lola's at least going to still live a peaceful life. Right. Yeah. But okay, is she taking her son or no? She's taking her son and then leaving him at a different place, right? Yeah, but it's like, for the argument's sake, it's like a town over. Right. Okay, that's what I thought. So just wanted to clarify. Again, it's not the greatest of situations, but at least it is. Yeah, yeah. And at least, I mean, hopefully when they flash back or flash over to Elizabeth's court, then we'll see more of her there. Yeah. That would be interesting to see. That would be interesting. And as I think about it, there's still the opportunity, like, just because this happens, there's still ways that, Mary in the future can help and do something about this. So
bring her back.
If I know Mary,
exactly.
I think she'll do something. Anything else on Lola that we can speak to?
I was just glad that she figured out Narcisse, and I think it was good that Mary didn't have to tell her the whole shebang. Like, yo, he's honestly, he's cheating on you too. Because I think that would have really crushed her. Like, she was crushed when she found out that he had murdered the other guy, his scribe. But I think that the other thing could have really done her in. Although that would have been the final nail in the coffin to make sure she never goes back, which I think she's not going to anyways.
I think she's good. I mean, she obviously now still knows. But yes, you are right. I mean, so I don't know. Tell me a bit from your perspective, because obviously it's very difficult if you're Mary and you have to say this, and she chooses the most tactful way of saying it.
She did.
But can you even relate to that in any remote way can you internalize what she might have been going through besides just pain for Mary?
Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to tell your friend, hey, this guy's not good for you, but you don't want to completely crush them. I mean, I don't know. I probably would still tell my friend, because it's just being honest. Like, I would hate for my friend to find out that I knew that this was happening and didn't tell them, because then I think that would be kind of deceitful. But I think Mary did it in a tactful way, and that's what she told Catherine she was going to do. And
I thought Lola's rebuttal was smart in the sense that she knew, because with these people, there's always levels, right? Is she coming at me as a friend? As my queen,
right,
or as the Queen of Scotland, as Queen of Scotland, France, whatever,
right?
So there's always emotions tied in these different ways, and you got to be able to read the levels. And so Lola thought she was coming at it in a different way, right? Here's Catherine, who's becoming close with Mary because of the death of Francis, which makes sense,
right?
But obviously not the case.
Yeah. Oh, the levels. so many.
But I just imagine, like, I know there's not as many, like, if this was The Bachelor, every woman in America would be watching together and, like, have their thing.
Right.
So I know, but obviously a lot of people still do watch the show. I really hope every woman and guy, even if they were watching, just rejoiced at that moment when Lola finally found out.
I was finally happy. I was like, yes.
But you still like Narcisse. That was the whole thing.
No, I liked him for like an episode or two. And I think that was when I first came on, right? Because he was in his, he was kind of floating along, not really, I don't know, doing too much Narcisse things. And, but you told me.
I saw
and like
the signs.
when I was watching today, I was like, I should have listened to Phil.
Listen, we're going to start a whole separate show.
Exactly.
I'm going to give advice to every girl who wants to date a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I know all the warning signs.
Yeah.
So.
They don't change. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Let's talk about Mary and Catherine, because obviously interesting relationship. I think, although Lola was incorrect in terms of the full motive, she's not wrong about the relationship between Catherine and Mary.
Right.
And I do like, I like them together.
You like Catherine and Mary together?
Yeah.
I do too. I really do.
I think they can conquer the world when they're together.
Yeah. Honestly, because before we knew that Catherine wasn't into Mary because she didn't want the whole prophecy to come true and all of that. But now that they're together, I find that they're just like a duo that can, like you said, conquer the world together.
Yeah.
I want to see more.
There was a portion where I was really nervous that we would lose Megan Follows for at least a couple episodes. I thought perhaps that Catherine would just go away into exile for a little bit.
Oh,
I was really nervous.
But she's just such a good character. Like, there's no way they could just,
I know that's what made it so tough. I was like, is this really the way Catherine goes out?
No way.
Here's the thing. You could call it luck, but it's obviously very calculated because she talked to Bash ahead of time. And so when Bash, comes upon her in the woods, he presents what finally kind of sparked. Like, Catherine's like a phoenix. You bring her
she
down.
does, and she just rises from the ashes.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
So your best bet is just to leave her alone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like the way she comes out of it is just too much.
You cannot take her down at all. She will, and that's what I was like when the bishop said, we thought we had her, blah, 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 blah. We didn't think that she would exhume Francis's body. Like, you cannot underestimate Catherine. Like, she will go to the lengths she has to go to make sure that her head stays on her shoulders.
Well, especially, especially when you're talking about her son. And
right.
It was a good line. I think it was a little bit fast in the sense that it felt like a throwaway, but it should have been made a little bit more of. But basically, they're tainting the name of Francis, right? And so, it ruins his legacy for what it really is.
Right.
And there's that, and obviously she's the mother of this, Francis, and so she's not going to do that. So yeah, she's going to go to that level.
Yeah. Should have been
been
aware of that. Exactly.
Again, another good lesson. The depths women will go to catch you in a lie.
Absolutely. Do not underestimate us. Yeah.
That would have been like the first, and here's the thing. It's one thing when you're him to see, oh, we overlooked that. It's a whole other thing when you knew about it and you just didn't do it.
Exactly.
That's stupidity.
Crossing your T's and dotting your I's. As to something that was that big, you were going to, accuse the mother of the king of, killing the king. Yeah. That's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So, now, in terms of that, and we can get back to Mary and Catherine in just one moment, but in terms of, since we're talking about the bishop, who is this other power that, because obviously they're not tied to Narcisse. Mm-hmm. They're certainly not tied to Catherine. So who is this? What power? What entity?
I don't know. I really don't know. At first I thought it was one of the other lords who wanted to become regent.
Is it the lord that she kicked out of? That's what I was thinking.
I think he looked familiar. I don't know. I feel like I've seen him on an episode before. I could be wrong.
I don't think we've seen him, but I think he's tied to someone that we know.
Okay.
And if I had to, I doubt that it was the guy that kicked her out early on.
Maybe,
remember?
Yeah.
The dinner when she brought she brought her daughter and the princess as a whore, and that just didn't work. So, by the way, we got to talk about her too.
Yes, we do.
So we'll get back to that. But yeah, I think it'll be the interesting part. See how that plays.
To see who it is, right? Who do you think it is?
And my best guess, honestly, even though I don't think it fits, is that guy.
Right.
I mean, he's got sort of the motive for it.
Right.
And he's embarrassed Catherine before.
Or could it be someone from the English court, possibly?
Yeah, but why would they want Narcisse? Because
they wouldn't want Catherine. I don't know.
But here's the thing. Catherine or Narcisse, either way, both... Well, I guess Narcisse wouldn't... But here's the thing. He would care about Scotland because of Lola.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's just... It's tough. You got to read the motive, and I'm not quite sure.
We'll see.
But I think from an English perspective... Catherine and Narcisse, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're both
so then maybe
have the
it's
same
somebody
interest.
at French court.
That
I could see.
So we'll see. We'll find out. Let's talk about the princess.
Yes.
The diary.
Oh, I was just like, cringeworthy for her. Poor thing.
Because she did her part.
She did.
Not obviously she lied, but she was trying to be honest.
Yeah, she was. And like going back to when Catherine came up to her, I thought it was really clever of her to kind of navigate and have Catherine say, okay, I'll ask your brother if you can marry whoever you want to. Mm-hmm. I liked that part. I was like, oh.
Why? What do you think that is?
I think it's...
You think it's Leith?
Yeah.
But why? You think so?
I don't know. I kind of think so. I mean, from what I remember, she has a thing for him.
She does, but what is that?
I think she just wants the freedom to marry whoever she wants. I think she's just...
But specifically Laith.
Possibly.
Okay.
Don't mark my words, but possibly.
Okay.
I think. But, you know, I mean, she's just a free spirit. I think she wants the freedom to not have to specifically marry someone that's royal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think at least right now in her mind it's Laith. We'll see if she wises up.
Right.
Unfortunately, Laith. That's not a diss on you. That's just reality right now. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, you could. I thought she did a great job in the courtroom scene, especially when she was just caught in it.
Yeah.
Narcisse, he played it so well too.
He did. All of that was just planted so well for him too. The diary.
Well, because again, it was all planned out in that way, just not by him, by somebody else.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good. It wasn't a murder mystery per se, but I guess you could still technically call it a murder mystery. Right. So I like those. That was fun.
Yeah. I was glad that she was part of the trial and we got to see more of her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's quickly talk about Greer because, she's obviously in this episode, albeit short. But Mary notices...
Something's different.
Yeah, it's just... I'm wearing baggier clothes. Why are you wearing baggier clothes?
Something's different. Yeah, I wonder how long she's going to be able to... How long she's planning on keeping her secret.
I mean, 3-4 months?
You can't forever. Eventually, I mean, how baggy are your clothes going to get?
But even if they, what are they just...
It's just
they can't get baggy up here on the shoulders.
Yeah.
They got to get baggy at the hips.
Exactly. Not exactly the style of the times.
So, yeah.
What do you think will happen with her?
I think she will go to Mary and they'll come up with some sort of plan. Because, whether... First off, do we think it's Laith's? Who knows? Mm-hmm. So, but I doubt that she has too much pride to go to him immediately.
Right.
I think she will, if anything, Mary might tell her to go to him, but she'll go to Mary first.
Right. So. I was surprised she didn't say anything, too, to Mary.
I think it's embarrassing.
Right, but she confides a lot in Mary. At least she has in the past.
Less and less, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Speaking of that was a very pivotal scene in terms of getting Mary's anxiety up. She was like, yeah, the servant heard 2 voices.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And secrets don't last too long in the castle.
We found out, no, they don't. Mm-hmm. There's no secret in the castle.
At all. It's like those walls are paper thin, I feel, even though they're probably, cement bricks, but everyone finds out everything somehow. Here's everything.
It's not a private residence. It's a castle.
Right.
So people see people going in and out of halls and doors and this and that. It's hard to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Unless you meet at a completely different location off campus, I don't think you're getting away with much.
No. Although it was really good, at least for Catherine and Mary, that the castle does have those secret passageways that they're able to get out of Don Carlos's room. That was their saving grace.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now it takes... So for all the worry that Catherine and Mary have, which I love Catherine, her first instinct is we got to kill him.
Yeah. I'm going to shove this down his throat if he wakes up, Yeah, that's just her first instinct. You can tell, Mary is completely different. She's like, let's just see if he remembers what the damage is. Let's just, we can't marry him. Marry him. We can't kill him. He was nice to me and he doesn't deserve that. And sure enough.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? It was very hard to watch him tonight, and we will talk about that. However, go back a couple episodes. Forget Mary, because he's been nice to Mary, but go to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Was Don Carlos a nice guy?
No. I was not liking him that episode. Because he went up to Elizabeth and was like, show me your womanhood. Like, what? No.
So
take a few seats, honey.
And the machine itself is not nice thing. That's just creepy.
Right. What was that machine? It was like a...
The Bowflex for
exactly.
sex. The Bowsex.
Exactly. This is the first edition of the Bowsex. Yeah. But his character has definitely changed throughout the time that he's been on it, or at least been on screen. And yeah, I mean, it's a complete 180 from the first time we saw him with Elizabeth.
I mean, all that to say, like, I can't say that it's warranted or that he deserves to be in this state.
No.
But I am saying, like, that you have to also consider he wasn't a nice guy. Mm-hmm. So.
He was a little on the toolish side beforehand. Yeah.
But regardless, again, we spoke about this before we started, but you had the same kind of painful viewing experience seeing him. Because it's painful, I think.
I mean, no matter how someone is, like, nobody deserves to be impaled like that and then to have, like, a brain injury like that. But it was good to see how Mary, in her own way, was kind and gentle to him, and didn't kill him like Catherine wanted to. And yeah, it was interesting to see.
Catherine was very quick though, and what was your thought to, like, immediately just like, you got to marry him?
Yeah. It's crazy just to see how they think. Like, you have to marry him. You still need Spain. Nobody else is going to take him now. What's his father going to do? But just lock him up. You'll be nice to him at least. And you could still reap the benefits of being married to, a Spaniard into the kingdom of Spain. I mean, she's so quick like that. Like, her mind just thinks on that level constantly. And obviously, Scotland is in great distress. There's people starving over there. And so as of now, Mary's going to marry him.
And he sends grain over.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine's not wrong, but it'll be interesting to see how it develops.
Right.
And how that relationship continues, because right after he announces that, the fact that she goes away, I mean...
and she looks at herself in the mirror like, am I really doing this,
I think it's that, and I think it's just pain, and
right.
It's just a combination of all these feelings that I think go beyond the fact that she's just marrying someone for the purpose of an alliance after knowing that she doesn't love the person. Like, it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor. And she just saw Francis.
Oh, yeah. She saw his body. Oh, I wanted her to look away, but she saw it.
Yeah, Lola. Lola did a decent enough job, but Mary's like, no, I need to.
No, you don't need to see that. No. It's just hard being a monarch, I guess, at that time, and especially a female whose country needs support. I mean, what?
Desperately. I mean, the fact that they brought the starving kids and some were already dead.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, what choice does she have? Kind of.
Yeah. It's the lesser of two evils type of thing.
I mean, Don Carlos could get a little bit better, The brain does heal. Maybe in time, who knows, but
history is not kind in that way.
Yeah.
So
this is true.
Unfortunately, I don't think, you know what, at least he's saying the right thing, like, Mary, very pretty, good.
Right.
That's, that's more than most husbands say to their wives.
Exactly. Keep repeating that. Yeah.
Anything else on the episode that we wanted to, I mean, overall, obviously very layered, but not too many things to actually, in terms of characters and things like that to discuss. Right. It's all the same
people. So now
people.
Is Catherine regent now that...
I think so.
Right, because they didn't make it too clear, so I was just wondering. Because Narcisse isn't, right, anymore?
Yeah, certainly not going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So, interesting. This will be interesting to see their whole relationship, how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the vote has to perhaps get recast or whatever,
right.
But I think...
For the most part.
I think we can safely assume that she will be the regent. And Charles will get to come back.
Yeah.
They kicked them out.
I know. The king is like never there.
He was there for a bit until he got kicked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he got kicked out. So, all right. That's the episode. Now, of course, we have Castle Corner. So,
yes.
We have our good old pictures for those of you watching. If not, just Google it. I picked the Spanish castle. Keaton, if you're listening, I want my damn castle book back so I can
he called
go
you
through.
Out.
I've called her out 800. I've called her out in front of her face. I want my damn castle book because I have to go through. A fan was nice enough to give us a book on castles that probably cost $800. No, I'm just kidding. Probably like $30. Yeah. $30, but regardless, still, a decent amount of money. Like, that's a good chunk of change.
Right.
And then sent it to us, which is another chunk of change.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now it's like some coffee book for Keaton at her house.
It's pretty coffee
Bring
table
it back. Anyway, we have a Spanish castle, so go ahead.
Let's see it. Hopefully I won't murder the text. All right, here we go. Located in Murcia province, Lorca Castle was designed to be a defensive fortress. Lorca Castle was a key strategic point of contention between Christians and Muslims during the Reconquista. Ironically, one of the castle's exhibits today deals with storming the castle. The castle sits on a site of a former Muslim citadel and is a heritage center known as a Fortress of the Sun that offers various cultural events. The castle and its exhibits are spread over a large area, which could create some obstacles for visitors with mobility problems. It was constructed between the 19th and 15th centuries. It is 640 meters long and 120 meters wide, and one of the largest castles in Spain.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now the photos, we're having some issues with the photos, but like I said, look it up regardless. Which is interesting as this whole journey of Castle Corner may continue for a while. You get to know every castle's different.
Yeah.
And this looks like one of the, it's really high up.
Right.
And
it looks like a fortress.
You've seen the picture that I sent, right? So and then to see there's a picture of a cannon, right?
Yeah.
So again, if you just look it up, you see this stuff and it's beautiful. I don't know if many weddings happen there. I know a lot of castles do a lot of weddings,
right.
but I don't know if
it's not one of those big romantic type castles. It looks like a fortress.
It looks medieval.
Yeah,
like if I had to describe medieval, this is medieval.
Right.
Like early medieval.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's just the fact that these things existed and that they have survived in their own way.
So much time, yeah.
One day, someone will have a show just to browse castles.
Actually, I think I've seen something like that.
I'm sure there's something already out there.
Something. I vaguely remember. I remember being like, oh, this is an interesting show.
Inspired by Castle Corner here on the Rain After Show.
There you
go. And by the way, if you guys have suggestions for castles that you have visited firsthand, that would also be great to kind of include, so then we can kind of pull from you and include that. So here we are. For those of you watching, we got some photos here. So here's the landscape overlooking the city below. There's one of the towers right there. And again, kind of it looks plain. It's not. I don't think it was meant to be a beautiful castle. It's meant to be a fortress,
right?
So I don't think they're necessarily go. It's not like someone lives here every day and goes for the design. It's very much like, hey, we got to protect ourselves,
right?
Type
exactly.
of mentality. So I think that kind of goes into it. So yeah, here's the courtyard, and then I believe we have one of the cannon, which is right here. So there you go, all kind of old school.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we now get into predictions for the rest of the season here on Rain, when hopefully we have all the rest of the people.
Exactly.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What do you predict?
Okay.
Elizabeth's back.
Yeah, I think she'll be back probably pretty soon. Maybe next episode.
You don't get the previews, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, Elizabeth is back.
She is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I like to just come in fresh, like not know.
What if I I can't say that I'm spoiling it for you because it's the trailer, but Elizabeth tries to go after and get Don Carlos for herself.
Oh, I could see that.
How evil and treacherous is that?
I could so see that.
Which, by the way, we didn't talk about Mary and Don Carlos's servant, or whatever his like official title is.
Oh, that's
the fact that he knew about the bow sex.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, we can keep this a secret.
Yeah.
I'll just come up with something to tell his father, you know? Yeah. Wow, I could totally see Elizabeth doing that. It just seems very her character.
And she does. She does. So we'll see. And I mean, that's
does she know that? Oh, well, you don't know if she knows his current situation.
I'm sure word has gone back.
Probably.
Because especially there's the new whatever diplomat of England in French court. You know, it's no longer it's not the guy that was there before, and it's certainly not Robert Dudley.
Right. Yeah. So. Interesting.
And remember, Lola is going to go there so she can bring the news too. Or
exactly.
It'll be interesting
I hope that we see more of Lola over there. I think that would be very, very interesting.
It'll be interesting if the two of them talk on a regular basis.
Right, exactly. Because Lola even said, like, I'll do some digging for you, because I know that she's going to be doing digging for herself. So I would like to see that. Predictions, I don't think Mary's going to be with Don Carlos for too much longer. I think it's just going to kind of eat away at her that she doesn't really love him.
She can't get a divorce?
Are they married yet?
They're not married.
No, they're not married. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't think so.
And this is rain. Yeah. We would have a total grand wedding.
Exactly.
That we haven't had a party in a while.
I didn't think so. I was like, history? They didn't get married. Yeah. But I think that'll be maybe a couple episodes that he's in. I think Catherine will be regent. The king will come back. I don't know what's going to happen with Narcisse. I think him and Catherine will probably rekindle something. Yeah.
I mean, Narcisse is now only good in terms of helping Mary.
Right.
And Catherine. Like, if he can do those things, then he's a good ally, but a bad person.
Right.
It'll be interesting if, like, after 5 years, Lola comes back and Mary and Catherine are like, what? He's great. He's fantastic. You should have, he's your husband.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right.
Well, what do you think? You got any predictions?
Not specific predictions. I mean, you know, I'm interested to see where it goes. But I like that we're kind of expanding now, and I want to see Bash do a little bit more.
Me too.
Poor Bash, he's kind of taking a back seat.
Yeah.
And I think he's a little bit wasted right now, a little bit. But I think they'll come up with something for him.
Right. Do you think we'll ever get to see Mary on actual Scottish soil?
Season 4.
Yeah.
Season 4 at best.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing that kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think season 4.
Right.
All right. Anyway, that's it for our episode. If you could do a couple of things, just number 1, show some love. Give us an iTunes rating, comment on YouTube, however you watch, listen. Just let us know. We appreciate the feedback. And we love interacting with you guys.
Absolutely.
We're here doing it every week for you guys, free to you guys. So, that way you guys get to enjoy it. For those of you who've been on the journey with us since season 1, we appreciate it. If you're just joining us, welcome aboard.
Yes,
Hopefully
welcome.
Hopefully you stay. And also, we always say, just tell a friend. If you can just tell one person, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, friend, coworker, person on the street.
Exactly.
Just tell somebody we're out here. And you know what? The Rain After Show hopefully is for them. But if it's not, let them choose from the other after shows here at AfterBuzz.
There's a ton of shows.
How many? What's the other one you do?
I do 3 others. So I'm going to be doing Billions, which starts, I believe, next week.
The Showtime show.
Yeah, Showtime. And then I'm doing the new show on NBC Superstore, which is tomorrow.
There you go. So, speaking of that, the other thing that you guys can help out with, if obviously you guys watch us, that means hopefully you guys like us. So if you guys do like us, support us. Watching her shows, Billions and Superstore, that's one of the ways. But you can follow her at...
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alina Vision. That's ALINAVISSION.
That's right. And support Keaton as well. And JB's...
Support Phil.
Hey, you know what? If you just watch me every week, that's support enough. And JB Zimmerman, yes, for those of you who are fans... Long-time fans of the Rain After Show, JB has come back, so the Royal Bros reunite.
Yay!
And hopefully we can have, what would Royal Hose?
I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Hopefully something better than Royal Hose.
That was right.
All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week for another Rain After Show here on AfterBuzz TV.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.